What's up, guys? Bajheera here for TGN.TV, and today I'm bringing you another episode of The Bajheera Show. Oh, yeah! So, guys, I have way too much arena footage still on my computer from Season 9, so I thought, what better way to make use of it than to show it to you guys? Let's do this! So, these two matches, and that's just two matches, they're against a Kitty Cleave with the Holy Paladin. And currently I'm playing Kitty Cleave with Resto Shaman in these videos. So, what we're going to do is open up hard on this warrior, even though we eventually found out that that's probably not the best strat is to go on the warrior. But, you know, if you're going to start on something, might as well start on the warrior. So that's what we do. We get on the warrior, get some debuffs on him, get a rend on him for the overpower spam, and we actually get him pretty low. I pop my fear, and we try to get, the kill on the warrior, but just doesn't end up happening. So I pop wreck, blade storm, try to get some cleave damage on their whole team. I get disarmed, so I'm going to drop a thunderclap, and then we're like, alright, let's go on this druid. He's in bear form right now, which is actually what we found to be effective. Is if you can go on this feral druid and keep him in bear form, then he's not going to build his combo points. He's not going to be able to be throwing, instant cyclones on your team. Not to mention, he's not going to be able to use his, devastating 5-point rips and 5-point ferocious bites on you guys. So, if nothing else, keeping his combo points down is going to be what you want. And plus, although he's going to do okay damage in bear form, it's nothing compared to what, he's going to be doing in kitty form. So if you can keep him in bear form, he's not going to be able to do his damage, he's not going to be able to get his combo points up, and he's not going to be able to get his CC on your team, which is going to put you in a much better position, because the warrior's not going to be able to CC very much. The warrior's going to do his damage, and making the warrior good defensive is a fairly good idea, but I personally think it's probably better to go on the druid, because a warrior's damage is devastating, but it's not as bad as having, clones spread across your whole team. Because if you can keep their feral defensive, that means that your feral's probably going to be okay. And if you can get, if you can get the advantage in terms of CC and damage on the other team by keeping their feral defensive, then you're going to be in a really, really good position for the whole match. Because they're not going to have, the peels of a cyclone keeping damage off of their team. So that means that their paladin's going to be constantly having to pump heals out. And it's going to mean that you're going to be able to put out as much damage as you want. Even though it's into a bear form druid, which, considering, it doesn't take as much damage as some classes might if you train them, but it's, overall, the cost-benefit analysis generally tips at least us in the favor of going on the druid. And although I've just talked about how we should go on the druid the entire time, we hard switch to the warrior. He pops retail. I'm getting low. My shaman drops a spirit link totem, and we're actually able to finish off. The warrior while the paladin's in a cyclone. So even though I just spent like 5 minutes talking about how you should go on a feral druid, and the countless advantages of going on the feral druid, hard switching to the warrior is always a viable option. If you can gain the advantage as a kitty cleave by keeping their damage low and keeping their healer constantly having to spam heals on his team, it opens, it just gives you so many more options. And for us, we finally took advantage of that option by being able to hard switch to the warrior after that paladin was having to work so hard to keep his team up. And that's not to say that my shaman didn't get low mana. I mean, look at it. He's probably even lower mana than the paladin. But keeping the feral defensive is still probably the best idea. And that's what we ended up doing until we finally killed the warrior, which is really funny, and I realized that. But and now, keep in mind that the strategies I'm suggesting right now, this is for 4.1, and things could change in 4.2. Who knows? Maybe ferals will just be like, no reason to even bother going on it just because they're going to kill your entire team, 1v3. But you never know. That's just a strategy that we found to be effective. Train that feral like there's no tomorrow, basically.
So let me get this straight. Y'all so scared of that little kid that you're just gonna sit on him all day and call that a strategy?
He has to learn the strategy, Bashkwikwi. You never know. You got to learn sometime.
Thanks, Bajheera. You've always got my back.
You know it. You know it, Big B.
All right, let's not get that intense.
Sorry.
Anyway, what we're gonna do now is gonna start on the warrior again. It worked last time. Get some debuffs on him. I'm not trying to start too hard. Already used my improved hamstring on him. Keep him where we want him. Keep him, pretty far away from his healer. Get a demo shot on him, and finally the druid shows his face. So as soon as it comes out, I'm gonna wreck storm just to get a ton of cleave damage on their entire team. Except then my feral cyclones their feral. So that was kind of a fairly significant misstep, just because we lose out on a lot of damage on their whole team. But that's okay. I throw the feral down, try to get some good damage on him. Finally managed to get a rend on him eventually. There we go. So now we've got our setup. We're doing damage to the Feral. I focus charge, focus sphere that Paladin, heroic leap back, and managed to get this kill on the Feral before the Paladin could even drop a heal on him. So that was probably a little bit of RNG in our favor, but it was also, the product of a good focus sphere and probably even a Cyclone after that. But, that's not to say that we didn't get a little bit lucky with crits and stuff. But the focus charge, focus sphere, that's something that you guys might want to learn. I don't feel like there's like a lot of tips that I can give you because I don't feel like I'm the best warrior around. But learning how and when to focus charge is something that's going to really improve your gameplay, I think. That's one of the things that I was working on this season, is learning how and when to focus charge. And it's I don't think I've mastered it by any means, but I've definitely come to appreciate its effectiveness in the arena. Focus charges and focus spheres have definitely won some games for us, and it makes you feel really pro, especially when you can heroic leap or intervene back to your healer to get back on the DPS that you were hitting. So that's always fun, and that's one of those things that you can practice to improve your own gameplay. So this is just one of those arena games that I've got on my computer sitting around, and there's tons more to come. So hang in there, guys, and thanks for watching. This has been Bajheera for TGN.TV, and I'll see you next time.